Tonight I will be working on this catfish carving. I read somewhere that August is National Catfish Month. So I decided to do a catfish carving. And actually it's weird because I had the idea to do a catfish carving before I saw that August was National Catfish Month. And this just kind of inspired me to get going on this piece. I just kind of sharpened my tools a little bit too, so it feels okay. But I wanna do something before I really get going. I use my sharpening stone, but this is not my sharpening stone. This is something else. This is very fine. It's more of a polishing. I forget exactly what this is called, but it's a very fine stone. It's more of a polishing stone. There we go. That's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. I'm gonna carve here like this. I've got my phone slightly closer to me tonight than I generally have it. So you can hear me a little bit better as I speak. Kind of carving for fun tonight. Tomorrow I won't be able to carve for fun for very much because I have 2 freelance projects that I need to start and hopefully get a good amount of work in on. So I won't be able to do anything for myself, much of anything for myself tomorrow. And hopefully I'll be able to see those 2 projects through to the end tomorrow, so I won't have to worry about them, because this coming weekend I have a festival. So I also have to get ready for that this week, but I don't have to do too much. I have to do a little bit, but not too much to get ready for that. I'm mostly ready for a show at a moment's notice. Hello, Max. I'm glad you guys enjoy watching together. What do I like most about doing my work? I'm kind of I like the process like the process of making things the most. So I like you know, carving the blocks. Then it's hard not to like seeing a finished product piece come together. So I like that as well. But I like the process, and I like the mark making that I can do in a piece. I like, well, somebody described my work to me once as just an ocean of texture, and I really liked that description. So I kind of when I can, I try to make that true in my work. What keeps me motivated? I mean, the easy answer is money, but it's not even 20% money. It's mostly internal. I have all these ideas all the time of things that I want to see come forward. I guess it's just constantly having ideas is what keeps me motivated, really. Just new thoughts and new ideas and new challenges. Just trying new and just trying to push forward is what keeps me motivated. Thanks, Joe. I had a lot of fun working on that. It was a little bit of a tight turnaround, so I wish I could have done a little bit more with it. But I really, and a little bit more, I guess. I mean, just by thinking it out a little bit harder. But it was a fun project to work on, for sure. Have you ever tried carving one of those rubber blocks? By rubber blocks, do you mean linoleum? Or do you mean like those pink easy carve blocks? Because I've carved, I'm trying to think, I don't think I've ever carved an easy carve, one of the pink ones. But I've definitely carved linoleum, and it just depends on what I'm working on at the time. What project I've got going, what I'm gonna carve with. Things that are gonna be a little bit smaller scale, I generally tend to carve in linoleum, and things that are gonna be a little bit larger scale, I carve in MDF. I was talking earlier about what motivates me, and how somebody described my work as an ocean of texture, and that I like that description. So in this piece, the back of the catfish is going to be a significant amount of texture, and that's really where I'm going to have a lot of my fun in this piece. How do I control the texture? Man, I just take out little bits at a time when I'm doing stuff like that. But it really, the real answer is years of experience. I'm going, let's see, like I'm going on like 8 years maybe of carving relief blocks. And so it's just knowing what my tools can do and what has been successful in the past, as well as trying new things. But that's how I can control the texture. Sometimes I plan it out a lot. Other times I just let it fly. Tonight's going to be one of those more let it fly nights. How did I get started with carving? I have a bachelor's degree in drawing, painting, and printmaking, and I just started in school. Really enjoyed the process. I just kept kind of moving forward with it. And then when I graduated, I just kind of dove in. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Do you consider yourself still in the process of learning? Always. I'm always learning something new. Learn, different, because your eyes, as an artist, I think your eyes constantly evolving too. So you're learning new ways to see, and, with new ways to see, you can see new challenges that you want to tackle, and then you have to learn how to take on those new challenges. So there's a lot to keep learning. You never want to get too comfortable. Do you still have some of your early works around? And do I look at them to see how far you've come? Yeah, I have one of the pieces that's hanging up in my studio is a carving that I did probably 2010, I guess. Maybe. And then I've got older pieces or pieces in between 2010 and today, and I've got some of my oil paintings hanging up in my studio. I've got some of my watercolor paintings hanging up. I've got a lot of stuff of my work. I've got a lot of my work hanging up down here in the basement. A lot of the work that's upstairs isn't mine. It's work that I've collected from other artists throughout the years. What do I do when I make a mistake carving? Generally, I just roll with it. It's kind of there are techniques that you can use to fill in the wood. If you've carved away a little bit too much, you can use wood filler. But I just tend to roll with it. And to be honest, I don't make a whole lot of mistakes when carving. I plan out a lot of my piece ahead of time, so it's not really a concern. And I have pretty good control with my tools after all the years that I've been doing it. Alright, so he's got his white belly underneath, and then this is going to be a little bit more textured on top, his back. So I guess I will go ahead and just carve away his white belly here. Let me just go ahead and knock this out, this blade of grass that comes up right now, so I can finish it. But the reason I'm doing the blade of grass first is because it's harder to do the exact marks on the inside rather than doing them on the outside. It's easier to control on the outside of the marks. So I wanted to get the ones on the inside first so I could be confident with my marks on the outside of the lines. Sorry for asking me too many questions, by the way. I'm an artist myself, aspiring tattoo artist. Oh no problem. That's half the reason I do these things, is to talk to people. So no worries there, man. what inspires you? Like, what helps all of you? Those ideas pop into your head. I think it's just like, I don't know. It's really a hard thing to answer because, like, when I'm drawing and having my best like sketching sessions, I'm doing it mostly in complete silence. So at least get the ideas out. If I'm fine tuning, if I got like an idea real solid, I'll turn like a book on or a TV show on to hammer out the idea. But to get like the real, like the bones of the sketch down and solid, I kind of need silence. And I think that comes from, you know, just exposing myself to seeing a lot of different things throughout the day or the week or the month. So those ideas can come to the front of my brain. But it's things that I look at. And it's mostly like things in real life. So I do a lot of animal work. So, you know, it's going to the zoo every now and then, seeing animals on TV or YouTube, and what's interesting about them, or seeing like this one is halfway inspired by a Instagram post, and I forget which aquarium made it. It's an Instagram post saying that August is National Catfish Month. So that one's halfway inspired it, but I had the idea to do a catfish before I saw that August was, that this kind of just pushed it forward. So it's just seeing and looking at the world and through a lot of different lenses, I guess. You know, the internet being one of those lenses. What kind of knife is that? This is a Power Grip V-gouge carving tool. I have, in my profile, I have one of my stories, or one of my memories is materials. And if you go there and click on that, if you go there and swipe up, it'll take you to a page on my website where I tell you what materials I use and where you can get them. So if you have questions like that, you can go check that out. Like I said, it's in my profile, and then right above all the pictures there is a memory, and it says materials. This is underneath something, so I just kind of want to go tick, 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 and take out little pieces as it gets to that dark area. And same here. I just want to go tick, 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 tick. That little mark right there, that little triangle, wasn't, I didn't plan to leave that there or carve that. But it's one of those happy little areas, I think, that I'm going to keep regardless, because I think it's a nice little spot. Weird question, but have you ever woken up from either dead sleep or near sleep with a drawing idea in your head and you just had to at least sketch it down before so you wouldn't forget? No, not really. I mean, I don't really draw for my like dreams or ideas. I mean, maybe, but I don't sketch it down immediately. I'm pretty good about remembering visually my dreams sometimes. Sometimes it just takes me as little as telling somebody else about like what I just dreamt or what I just experienced or thought. And that'll be enough for me to remember it. So I don't need to, you know, do a drowsy drawing of what it is. But yeah, I do best when I verbally tell somebody about my dreams. Like, you know, like most people, at some point, I was like, oh, I should write down my dreams, and I did. I would write them down in my notes on my phone, and then when I would wake up for real, those notes would make no sense to me at all. So I didn't really find that too useful. Some water. Alright, so this is his white little belly. I'm going to use the small U-gouge to carve out that shape. And then back to the V-gouge for a little bit longer. Alright. So this, his back, is going to be a little bit textured. So what I want to do is I just want to take a middle line here and just go down the back with that. And it's going to be broken up a lot because there's a lot of spots that I've drawn in the ways. I don't want it to be completely straight, so I'm going to wiggle my tool as it goes down, but not too much, in a very controlled way. And just take out, I don't know, 70% of the wood is my thought process. And it might be, I'm going to do some cross carving marks. Do you use the V-gouge? Do the U or the V-gouge give you different texture, or just more or less precise lines? Both. Each tool will give you a different mark, and each tool is good for different things. The V-gouge is, I'm going to use the word sharper, but not sharper in the sense that the tool is sharper, but just it's sharper in the way I use it, that I can just get more definition with my mark making. I found the U-gouge to be a little bit more clumsy. It doesn't have the clean edges, but it does give you just a different look altogether with the mark making. So it just depends on what you're going for. Me personally, and I know there's a lot of other artists that use them differently, but for me, the U-gouge is more for clearing out than for making texture. But occasionally I will employ the use of the U-gouge to get a unique like U-tool texture to what I'm carving. Alright, so I'm gonna go this way now. So I'll just carve another center line and then move out from there. How do you choose the colors that you think will look best to make the piece look more complete? Man, I just kind of treat it as I'm painting. I have, like I said, I have a degree in drawing, painting, and printmaking. So I took 4.5 years of painting classes in school, and so I know a lot of color theory, and it's a lot of it's just impulse too, of what you think would look good and trial and error. But I treat it like I'm painting. Of course, there was an easier answer, but there's no like It's not. It's just, you know, it's painting. It's painting. Hello, good night. I think I also decided that I wanted to do like white spots inside of these blobs on his back. We'll see. That might be a last minute decision. What do you do when you find yourself faced with a project or a piece of project that just feels really daunting, like you don't know where to start? The best thing that I can do for myself when I have a project that either like I don't want to do and don't know where to start with it, I just sit down and I sketch. And generally, if I can draw it, I can make it happen. So I just sit down and I sketch the ideas that I have, and then think about what is going to make those ideas come to life. But just getting in my sketchbook is the best thing, and then just kind of starting too, and drawing on my past experiences. Thank you. Sometime cleaning my workspace will help me work through a project that I'm not really sure where to start or how to start. So I have a clean space to think in. Like today, before I started this carving, I had to clean off my carving table from all the remnants of the other carvings I did last week. Basic question. I've only used lino block. What do you prefer? I love your work. Thank you. Most of the stuff that I use linoleum sometimes, depending on the project. But like where I'm carving right now is MDF. And like I said before, I have in my story on Instagram, I've got a little page that outlines what materials I use and where I get them. So you can check that out there. If you don't know what MDF is or where to get it, you can just go to my materials page. It's in my stories on my profile on Instagram. Just click the little circle that says materials and then swipe up from there. And it will take you to what I use. All right. So that's nice, but it's also quite boring. So one of the other things that I like to do is I like to do little cross carving marks. A little bit more texture going here. All right. And come in here. I'm going to carve away like this. And the same thing for this side. How long does it usually take me to complete a piece, start to finish? I mean, each project's different, obviously, but when I do a lot of freelance work, it's rare that a single project, freelance project would take more than 10 hours. I mean, it happens. Like I'm working on one right now that might happen, just because it's so involved. But like a t-shirt block like this, it'll probably take me about 3 or 4 hours to carve this out completely. But that doesn't take into account how long it took me to draw it. I don't sit and time my personal work. What type of wood is this? It is MDF. You can learn more about it if you go into my page on my memory on Instagram in my profile and click on the little circle that says materials. When you're pushing yourself to draw something out of your comfort zone, do you ever get frustrated with your art? And if you do, how do you deal with it and just move forward? If I'm drawing something that just isn't looking right, and if it's my own personal work, sometimes I'll abandon it for the moment. I won't delete the sketch or anything. I'll just kind of abandon what I was working on and leave it in my sketchbook and possibly come back to it later, or the idea later. When I can look at it with fresh eyes. But with freelance work, if I've been being asked to do something and it's coming, it's difficult. I just have to keep pushing. So, you know, I kind of tune the world out. If I'm listening to music or something, I'll turn whatever I'm working on off, and just kind of get to work and just push through. And 9 times out of 10, with some concentration, I'm able to tackle what I'm doing. Does your neck ever get pain from constantly looking down? When I'm doing these Instagram live sessions, I'm looking up, down, up, down, up, down, a lot. So not quite, but I do work at a drafting table that is a slight incline. So I don't know if that helps. And it's never my neck, it's sometimes my back. Oddly enough, right now my it is my, sorry, I thought I heard something. The underside of my thigh is giving me some pains when I sit down sometimes. I don't know what that is. It might be something from running. I ran today, so. It just might be a tired leg too. But that has nothing to do with sitting and carving. I don't think, at least. I'm no doctor. Good night. Enjoy your evening. Have a good sleep. Thanks for watching. Let's get this catfish belly going. I always forget what time I start these. I always want to look to see what time I start these to see how much longer. Have like a countdown going so I know when I'm going to get kicked off. But then I always forget. But I do get a 2-minute warning, so at least I'm with you for another 2 minutes at least. Well, around this flipper. too small of a U-gouge. Pick up my other one. I want my slightly larger U-gouge. I'm going to get slightly larger chunks out. Something first. I'm going to take my V-gouge. Oh, no problem, man. You enjoy and have a good day at work tomorrow. All right. I want to take out the middles of these sections so I can more easily and quickly remove what I want to remove. It should be, we'll see if I finish it tonight. It should be done in the morning. It should be. Sometimes I get tired though, but I'm feeling pretty good. I'll probably be carving for at least another hour on this guy. And that may be enough to get it done, but it also may not be. We'll see. Gouge back right in there. Okay. Let's really break up this edge now with the U-gouge. Smaller U-gouge time, and just break up this edge a little bit more so it's a little less predictable. That looks pretty good. All right, dorsal fin. Let me take a little bit. Like I said in earlier videos, I try to think of all of my carvings in 3 different tonal areas. We've got, you know, the white, which is the area that I carve away completely, like the large white areas, which would be that, or this, or this, or this. And then I've got the black areas, which I don't touch at all, which are these, for now, and like the eye and the mouth. Although I think I'm going to leave those spots black now that I'm seeing this. And then I've got the gray areas where I take bits and pieces out like this, or like what I'm working on right now, or these. Even though everything is printed in either black or white on it, or the color, the paper or t-shirt or whatever that I use to print, when you break it up into smaller pieces and take a step back, it creates value. So that's why I take out little nicks here and there to create value. This is another gray area that I'm working on. Taking out little bits and pieces here and there so that when it prints, it feels gray. So I'm going to be doing in all these areas. Up on this fin. Taking out chunks. Now that we're getting it into the smaller areas, my tools can't do as much. So I have to take out a little bit more at a time. But I still want to be careful to maintain the lines that I have drawn. Just go right around there. Right around there. And just like that. And then come and take out these pieces for the fin. There's a little chunk there that's going to turn into a big chunk when I start printing. Take all that out. Okay. Okay, so the 2-minute countdown has started before Instagram Live will kick me off and will force me to start a new Instagram Live recording. So I will come back on and carve a little bit more. It might be 5 minutes before I jump back on. I want to take care of a couple things first, but I will be back on to work on this for another hour at least. So if you guys want to rejoin me at that point, please do. All you have to do is look, just come back to my page in about 5 minutes. So let's say like 12:10, and I'll be starting this right back up again. work that up a little bit over here. I am back. Hello, hello. So tonight I'm working on this catfish carving because, as I mentioned before, August. I saw somewhere that August is National Catfish Month. So I said, why not do a catfish? They're kind of fun anyway. They're goofy and chubby and weird looking, and they're fun. So, oh hey, yeah. So I'm working on this catfish for t-shirts. I've got 10 days left in, 11 days left, 10 days left in August to take advantage of National Catfish Month. So why not? Here we are. Catfish carving fun. I have the octopus that I told you about sitting on my table just to the right of me. Just to the right of me, waiting to get carved. Don't know that I'm going to get to it this week. I've got quite a number of projects that that'll need my attention. 2 freelance things, and then a festival on the weekend. So I gotta get ready for that. But do you wanna see it? I can show you what the octopus will be. It's already spray painted black, so it'll be a little difficult to see. Here, let's see. A little bit. Put this up a little bit. So that is the new octopus piece that will be carved soon. So back to Catfish Month. Is there an octopus month? There should be. National Octopus Month. If there's a catfish month, there should be a octopus month. Is it really? October seems to be a lot of things. It's like, what is it? Inktober. I know here in Atlanta, October is Atlanta celebrates photography. I really feel like there's something else, like a national movement that's in October, but I can't remember. I mean, it really should be August. I know how the calendar's all messed up. August is the 8th month, right? October 8th is International Octopus Day. Oh, cool. I'll keep that in mind. Maybe I'll do something for International Octopus Day. And then this is 2018, so I wonder if it's extra special this year. Let me use my U-Gauss to take out a big old chunk of catfish tail. And I kind of like that piece being there, so I'm just going to knock a little bit of it out. Flick. You're back, man. I thought you were. I thought you had gone. I'm going to flip it a little bit to get to this other side a little bit better. I want this tail to look nice and frilly. Nice and frilly. Catfish is mostly done except for this fin that kind of goes back there. But I wanna clear this little that out there. I wanna get this too. All right, I am going to come over here and tackle this pectoral fin. I'm going to think about this one like I think about my bird wings. Just kind of radiating out from a point. Because I want it to get darker as it gets closer to the underside of that body there. So I'm just going to move systematically about it. And this is going to get cleared out right here, just because it's unique and past the leaves. So one right there. There, and that should do it. All right, a little bit of a mark there. So, like with my bird wings, I do the leading edge, mostly cut away, but then inside I leave a lot of the dark. The leading edge mostly cut away. Carve marks. Leading edge mostly cut away. Slight carve marks. Taking a little mix out here and there. A couple more out, just randomly. To sell the illusion. All right. Cool. Grass time. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. What sort of fish is that? It is a catfish. It was kind of out of the frame, but it's a catfish. Well, thank you for the very, very, very kind words. We appreciate it always. Alright, so grass patch number 1. I guess I'll go over to this one. I was gonna, well, hold on here. Actually, that's pretty good. I'm gonna leave it just like that. I was thinking about breaking up this line into straight, but I'm looking at it on the screen and I like it, so I'm gonna leave it. Sometimes with my t-shirt designs I carve away too much of the black. And I always try to caution myself from doing that. And looking at what I'm working on I've got it, my camera mirrored onto my laptop screen, so I can see the comments and what you guys are saying and asking. And it helps to kind of see, it allows me to kind of take a step back from the piece that I'm working on to see it on the screen a little bit and squint my eyes. See, kind of imagine what it's going to look like. So it helps me to see it this way. So grass patch number 2. Grass patch number 3. I'm going to do this one first because it's in front of both these two. So I'm going to work on this one first. Whee! It's kind of fun to make these little, these long strokes, especially when they're curved like that. How many sketches did I do before I started this work? One good sketch. And I may have done like little, you know, scribbles as I was working to get to this one sketch that I just knew weren't going to work out and weren't what I was looking for. So but one good sketch to get to this. Alright, grass patch number 3. And now grass patch number 4. Getting to work on that. Since this one's a little bit in the distance, I'm not going to take as much of it away. I'm going to take out smaller, still long swoops, some long pieces. But I'm going to take out thinner lines to kind of push it a little bit further. Is there a way to fill in a spot if you carved away by mistake? Oh, there are ways. I generally don't do it. I just kind of roll with what happens. But you can use wood filler and other things to fill in a spot. It's, you know, you're manipulating the surface of the block. If you're going to make the surface of the block flush again, then it will, you know, print as intended. And is this wood or linoleum? Sounds like wood. it is closer to wood than linoleum. It is MDF, which is a engineered wood product. To find out more information on like MDF, if you're not familiar with it, I have a little memory in my profile. If you go to my profile and click the little circle that says materials, you can see everything that I use, and then it has links and information on where you can find said materials. Is this another guitar? No, this is not another guitar. I possibly will do another guitar. I need to, I need to find a guitar, because the one that I used was provided for me, and they're not cheap. So if I can find like a used guitar somewhere to carve up, I will do that. But it's going to take some sourcing to get another guitar. Because that was fun. I enjoyed doing that. But this is not a guitar. I do have plans for, probably not this week, but possibly next week. I have sketches for a skateboard that I want to carve up. And I've had this sketch ready to go for a couple, it's probably a couple months now, actually. It's a raccoon eating a hot dog. I'm pretty excited about the sketch. It's kind of fun. So I might, with any luck, get that taken care of within the next month sometime. It's not a guitar, but it's, it's one of those alternative surfaces, I guess, to work on. Whoop. Whoop. Alright, I'm going to use my U-gouge in a lot of this. So I am just going to take out long swoops, and then I'll come back to it with a U-gouge to get that unique, the rounded shape for each tip of that little plant that I'm looking for. Hopefully I wasn't carving off screen too much there. I may have one or two swoops may have been off screen, but if they were, my apologies. Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? They come at it from this angle. It's always challenging to figure out how to come at it. Okay. All right. So, I guess I'll start carving away the back. I want... I was struggling with how I want to do the back. You know what? Let me see something. Let me see something. Let's carve out. Because here's my mantra. It's a lot easier to carve away stuff than to add things back that you've already carved out. So I had the idea of carving it all away. But as I was sketching it, I also had the idea of leaving it black, like the water was black, and just carving like little marks into the water. So let's see. I'm going to carve away the entire, the entire outside of this fish first, the catfish. So I know what I have currently. So that's where I'm at right now. Carving it all away. How long does this one take me to carve? I've been working on this one. This is the second hour that I've been working on it. So I'm about an hour and a half into this carving so far. I started the second hour at about 10 after midnight. A little right in that time. So. Move this a little bit forward. I feel like it was washing it out every time I would hit something. And this one a little closer in. I have got two lights on my drawing desk, and sometimes it is it's a battle to position them. But that's washing it out pretty good too. Let's see. My students are getting inspired by your work. I've been showing them some of your works and your carving techniques. Good. That's fun. I was going to leave that, but I don't like it. I'm just going to cut these out. How did I get into this? So I have, it wasn't by accident. I have a degree in drawing, painting, and printmaking. I went to school for this. When I got into school, you know, I was interested in drawing and painting, and I really didn't know what I would be doing after I graduated, but I took a class in printmaking, and it was kind of awesome. So I stuck with it. I changed from a drawing and painting major to a dual major, and the rest is history. But yeah, just by being exposed to it, that's how I got into it. Got some flies buzzing around the top of the water here. Again, the little lines that I have drawn around the flies, little wiggle buzz lines. Wiggle buzz, wiggle buzz, wiggle buzz. Wiggle buzz. Too thick there. You gouge to get this nice little rounded shape. To get a nice rounded shape, you need a nice rounded tool. About 15 minutes left before I'm going to lose this video. We'll see. Maybe I have time to finish it. It's a race against the clock. Chop, chop. Chop, chop. And around. Okay, so this whole block has one little spot right there. Clear it out, clear it out. Forgot that. Forgot that. Is that the last area? I think it is. Of course, there's probably going to be one little edge that I haven't carved. So as I like to go and outline everything that I want to clear, and then I'm going to use a wider U-gouge tool to just chew it out, clear it out. And I'm just taking down the first layer right now. Since this is going to be for t-shirts, I want to carve it pretty deep so that this information for sure does not print, or prints minimally, let's say. You can't guarantee that it won't print. It just minimally prints. Let's go. One more thing. There's a kind of two more little buzz lines that I drew over here. And I want to carve away. Sweet. Do you have to wear gloves to carve, or is it just a me thing? It's kind of just a me thing. You don't have to do to wear gloves to carve. I've just always worn gloves when I carve. I'm pretty aggressive when I carve, and I carve for long periods of time. Sometimes it just makes it easier on my hands to do so. But you don't have to wear gloves.
Can your tools ever be too sharp to handle well?
I don't think so. The sharper the better, in my opinion.
And are you working in
Wood or linoleum? It's MDF. It's an engineered wood product, and it is. If you want to know more information about like my process and my materials that I use, go to my profile on Instagram and click materials, the little circle just above all the pictures in my feed, and you can see everything in order to get it.
When printing on a press, is it best to have a really rigid material or something with some give?
I mean, both, linoleum prints well, and wood and hardwood prints well. It all comes with experience. I mean, you don't want too much give. I don't like using like the easy carve stuff. That's too soft to use on a press, and it'll slide around and slip. But wood is nice. Linoleum is nice. It's just whatever you have available to you.
Let's see. So here's where I'm at. I'm gonna raise that up a little bit so we can see everything. That's where I'm at. I don't know. I think I'm gonna take away a little bit of the we'll cut a little bit more, marks. Got about 2 minutes left
in this little carving session before Instagram Live kicks me off.
but I think I'm there.
I think I'm finished.
So what do you think? Get that in the whole frame. I think we're done. I think we're done. Give you a close up. I think the catfish is finished. So with that, we got 10 seconds left. So thank you guys for watching and hanging out with me tonight as I carve it.